It feels kinda magical when you cross this 100-hour mark in the games. And it feels like you got what you paid for. And even though not many games can actually replicate this, these 28 games will. So in this list we're going to be taking a look at 28 games that will give you at least 100 hours of gameplay. And in many cases much more than that. Well, technically it won't be 28 games, it will be more like 31, but yeah, let's just go through it one by one. And by the way, in this list we will have some rules. Rule number 1, this must be the games that I have already played and reviewed on the channel. So if you don't see the game that you want to see in the list, it's highly likely that I simply haven't reviewed it. Rule number 2, I'm not here to waste your time, and if you want all the list and if you want the entire list right away, you can check the description down below. All the games will be listed there, and each one of them will be listed there with the corresponding reviews on my channel. So yeah, let's not waste the time. And all the games are in no particular order. Number 28, Elite Dangerous. Even though this game have actually fallen from the grace in the recent years, it is still the game that will give you quite a lot of playtime. Yes, majority of it you will spend traveling from station to station, but sheer ambience, beauty, and insane sound engine will make each minute pleasurable. And yeah, despite this game being one of the games that you simply like or don't, this can easily give you 100 hours of gameplay. Number 27, Kenshi. The game that a lot of people are sleeping on. The game that will easily give you your most favorite and your least favorite time of your life. Because this game is brutal. Dropped in a post-apocalyptic sandbox, there won't be any hand-holding. If you make a mistake, you will pay for it. And if you thought that Elden Ring was hard, try playing Kenshi. You will understand what this world difficult actually means. And also what does rewarding actually means. With a giant open world and a lot of things to do, this is an ultimate role-playing survival experience that can easily give you 100 hour plus of gameplay. Number 26, Valheim. Yes, this game can actually give you more than 100 hours of the gameplay. Yes, the main campaign of the game is just go and defeat the certain bosses, but it will take you around 50 to 70 hours to complete everything. And this is just by playing to defeat bosses. And yeah, most likely you won't be focusing only on that. Because of extensive beautiful world and amazing building system, you will most likely play more than 100 hours in this game. And if you have friends to play with, multiply it by the amount of friends you are playing this with. So easily 100 hours. Number 25, Satisfactory. The game that will make you go insane despite not having really any conflict in the game. Here you need to focus on building planet-wide factory, well, at least map-wide factory. Starting from very basic, going to an insanely advanced technologies. Building factories, machines and different goods will take you quite a lot of time, and trust me, each and every minute will be enjoyable. So easily 100 hours to get to the late stages of the game. Number 24, Monster Hunter World. At first this might not seem like 100-hour game, but in reality it is. Yes, it will take you around 40 to 50 hours to go through the campaign of this game, but this is just rushing through the game. In reality, if you will play this game like it's supposed to be, meaning if you will be hunting monsters for their goods, this game easily would take you hundreds and maybe even thousands of hours. And yes, there are a lot of people who are easily scoring thousands of hours in this game, especially if you will be playing this with your friends, because yes, hunting with friends is 10 times more enjoyable than hunting alone. Number 23, Total War Warhammer series. So technically, this is where we cheat a little bit, because technically here we're covering 3 games, Total Warhammer 1, 2 and 3. And yeah, on the channel we have only reviews for the first 2 of games. But each game will give you easily 100 hours, because yeah, strategy games usually are very, very long, especially if you're gonna play it in different playthroughs, and even more, especially if you're gonna play it with the friends. Because each game has the multiplayer. And here, more games you own, more content you get because of Mortal and Immortal Empires campaigns. Even if you just own one game, you're gonna easily get 100 hours, and you have all 3 of them, that's probably around 500 or even more hours of gameplay that you will be enjoying. If you like, of course, other war game series. Number 22, Hearts of Iron 4. Another strategy game in the list, and yeah, we're gonna have a lot of those, especially Paradox games. But this is World War II grand strategy game, where you will take control of any nation in the world during the World War II. And your goal is basically to take your nation through this major world conflict, with pretty high difficulty curve and very deep systems. If you are a history buff and history geek, you will enjoy this game and will play for really really long time. And yes, you will be playing with multiple different nations because yeah, each nation is being controlled completely differently from one another. And just playing through campaigns even without multiplayer will get you through 100 hours easily. And multiply this with every single mod that you will install, because yes, this game has insane amount of mods, including alternate history and even modern day mods if you just don't want to play in a World War II settings. Number 21, Europa Universalis IV. Another grand strategy in this list that will take you to earlier eras during the world exploration and colonialism world. Just like Hearts of Iron 4, this game is incredibly deep and detailed, and with an ability to play with any nation in the world from the times where the game actually is taking place. Yeah, this will last very, very long. And if you'll just add one more mod called the Extended Timeline, yes, we are talking about going through entire history of the world and any nation of the world. So yeah, this will take you not maybe 100 hours, but maybe even 1,000 hours to play through. Number 20, Red Dead Redemption 2. And yeah, this does not require any introductions. You know that you will be playing for Red Dead Redemption for 100 hours. Yes, the main campaign will take you much less than that, but the amount of content that you will encounter during the game and just amount of free roam and just going around and just fooling around in the world will easily take you 100 hours plus. And yeah, this is not even talking about Red Dead Online. Even though Red Dead Online is not as great as the single player of this game, this is still the game that you will be getting if you will buy Red Dead Redemption 2. So even if you will not add the Red Dead Online, you will be getting 100 hours plus from this game just by free roaming and fooling around. Number 19, Ark Survival Evolved. And yes, every person who plays Ark and loves it will completely agree with me that yeah, if you like the game, you will play for more than 100 hours, especially if you're gonna go through different expansions, because yeah, the game has multiple different maps, multiple different creatures to tame, and insane amount of content. Yes, not every one of you will enjoy it, and yeah, I didn't enjoy it myself, but when I see the large game, I say that this is a large game. And yes, Ark is very, very big game. So if you enjoy maybe first 5-6 hours of the gameplay, most likely you will enjoy it through and through. And yes, if you will, it is easily 100 hours of gameplay. Easily. Number 18, Grim Dawn. Okay, this is a little bit controversial because some people might say that this is not actually 100-hour game. So let me correct you. So this is an isometric RPG which is very reminiscent of Diablo 2. And you're regularly going through campaign and doing, well, Diablo-esque things. And yes, to be fair, completing the main campaign and going through the main campaign will take you much less than 100 hours, maybe around 40 to 50 hours. But the thing is that you will not be going through main campaign just quickly like that. Most likely you will be replaying this game with different classes because yes, you have a multiple different classes and with an additional content, and because game has bunch of the additional content, including the community made content, this game will easily give you more than 100 hours. Because yes, the people who are enjoying games like that, they are not satisfied with just playing 30 or 40 hours of the main campaign. They will get everything. And if you are one of those people who like this type of games, you will get everything. So this is an easily 100 hours of gameplay. Number 17, City Skylines. Another kind of strategy game where your goal is to build different cities. And yes, you might understand why this will take you more than 100 hours, because there is no one way to complete the game. Because you can play on multiple different maps and you can have multiple different goals towards your own game and multiple different challenges like different natural disasters and things like that. You will be playing this for more than 100 hours. Well, of course, if you'll enjoy first 5 or 10 hours, this is easily 100-hour game. There is no just one way to build a city. There is multiple, and you will be trying a lot of different ways to do so. Number 16, Dyson Sphere Program. So Dyson Sphere Program is very closely reminiscent to Satisfactory, but if Satisfactory was in an interstellar scale. So in DSP, you are not technically playing only on one planet, you are playing on entire, well, constellation, not even in a star system. You are playing in a lot of different star systems. And your goal is to set up first planetary logistics to go into different planets, then to set up interplanetary logistics, and then go to an interstellar logistics to gather as much energy as possible to build different Dyson spheres around the stars. And yes, the proportion of this game sounds epic because Yes, they are epic. This game has an epic proportions that will easily keep you busy for more than 100 hours. Number 15, Elder Scrolls Online. So here you will understand why this will take you more than 100 hours. This is an MMORPG in an Elder Scrolls universe, and with the sheer amount of content, this is second to none. And yeah, because it's an MMO, you have a lot of different things to do, and even if you're playing this game completely alone from start to finish, this game has the amount of story that this game has is simply insane, and you will not be able to finish everything in 100 hours. Trust me, even for the base game, this has so many different things, so many different gears to correct, so many different quests to complete, so many different factions to complete your quests for, so many different different map completions, and not even talking about the expansions that you have numerous coming out every year. So yeah, this game is easily 100 hours to play. Number 14, X4 Foundations. So this is a space sim, which is not just a space sim, this is a space sandbox. And your goal is to live in this, well, galaxy. You are just given up complete freedom in this world, and you can do whatever you want. And yeah, this is literally what it means. You can become a pirate, you can become a trader, you can become a simple miner, and all of those gameplay features are actually fun if you, well, are doing them well. And if you want to become all of them, you can do them. And if you just want to become a tycoon with the multiple different mining ships or even entire warrior fleet, you can do that as well. And despite this game being a little bit difficult at first, with the amount of content and different paths that you can take, this game is easy 100 hours, and for majority this is far more than that. Number 13, Euro Truck Simulator 2. And yeah, this is another obvious one. You know why you're gonna play this for more than 100 hours. You are just a truck driver in Europe, and your goal is to deliver different goods. Yeah, that's practically it. In the main campaign, you actually control your truck delivery company, and you can have multiple different trucks, but the main gameplay loop is this. You get a contract, you sit on a truck, and you deliver a truck from one point in Europe to the second one, and that's practically it. You might encounter different situations like the road accidents, different weather conditions, different day and night conditions, and this game is extremely simple, but just sheer pleasure and relaxation that you will feel just driving from one point to another. This makes game easily 100 hours for majority of the players who are playing this game vigorously. Number 12, Civilization 6. And this is another one of the strategy games, because yeah, usually strategy games are giving you more than 100 hours of the gameplay. And yes, this is easily understandable why this will give you that long gameplay. Just the amount of time that will take you to complete only a single game with a single nation is quite a long time. It may be in tens of hours. And because every nation plays differently, and because there are a lot of different nations, if you're gonna get this game with an expansions, you will be stuck there for a really long time. And yeah, multiply that by a lot if you're gonna play this in the multiplayer. Number 11, another strategy game, and I think it's the last one in the list, is Crusader Kings III. And this is kind of like a weird game, because this is more like an RPG than it is a strategy. Well, it's kind of like a mix of that. So in this game, you're not playing as a nation, you're playing as the ruler in this nation, or as one of the royalties in the nation. And entire game is literally Game of Thrones on the map. You're controlling relationships with different royalties, with different rulers of the nations, and your goal is for your dynasty to survive. That's practically what it is. And with an amazing medieval setting, and with an ability to control almost any nation in Europe, Asia, or North Africa, you have so many different ways to play this game. Yeah, this will take you more than 100 hours to complete it. And yeah, you won't complete it, just more than 100 hours to just enjoy it. And number 10 is Fallout 76. Yes, I did not enjoy Fallout 76 that much, but I cannot take away what this game is. And this game is more than 100 hours to play. Not maybe the most enjoyable 100 hours, but 100 hours nonetheless. So this is MO version of the Fallout. So this is not an MMO, but MO. It's a multiplayer online version, not massively multiplayer, but just multiplayer online version of the Fallout. And this game has a lot of things to do. Yes, again, this might not be the most enjoyable things to do, at least for me, but at least this game has a campaign and a bunch of side missions to complete and a bunch of activities, like online activities to do. So if Elder Scrolls Online was here, even though it's much better than Fallout 76 Fallout 76 deserves to be here as well, because yeah, you are going to get a lot of gameplay from this game, and it's going to be easily more than 100 hours if you're willing to endure through it. And number 9 is Kerbal Space Program. And yeah, for the ones who know what this game is, you know why it takes for this long. So in this game, you're practically controlling your own space program, and your goal is to, well, explore the space around you, whether it's your own planet, your neighboring moons, or even other planets in its entirety. And yes, this is a pretty difficult game because this game is using realistic physics. Even though the solar system here, or rather Kerbal system here, is not one-to-one to scale with our solar system, and it's much smaller, it is still very difficult to get from one stellar body to another. Well, at least if you don't know how to do it. And if you count mods here, which among other things allow you to play in a realistic solar system and also within other star systems, yeah, this game is easily 100 hours, even without mods, but with mods it's far more than that. Number 8 is Rust. And yes, Rust is another survival game in this list, and yeah, survival games usually are very, very long games to play. But in this case, this is long because it's very challenging. Because you are playing against other players, and other players are the highest form of threat in this game. And because of the other players, difficulty in this game is beyond charts. Because at 1 second you have everything that you ever wanted in this game, and the next you are going to swarmed by a bunch of naked people with stones, and everything will be taken away from you. And yeah, the stories and situations that this game creates just makes this game worth it. Even though a lot of situations here will be frustrating for you, it's still fun nonetheless. Number 7 is Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and yeah, this is easily understandable why this is here, because there are 3 games in here, and all of them are massive games. And to complete this amazing story of the Commander Shepard will take you more than 100 hours. And there are not a lot of things to say about this game, except for that this is one of the best space operas in history. And yeah, you must play this. Number 6 is Divinity Original Sin Duology. So technically this is both first and the second game, because both games can be easily more than 100 hours. This is turn-based isometric RPG, and yeah, the sheer amount of detail and the size this game has is simply enormous. And yeah, I'm talking about both of the games. Yes, second game is improvement in almost every way compared to the first one, but first one is amazing as well. So if you're willing to play a very, very long battles, because yeah, combat in this game is more reminiscent to chess than everything else, and it might take you really long time to complete if you're gonna play it on the higher difficulties, yes, these games are easily more than 100 hours. And yeah, both of them are more than 100 hours. Number 5 is Mount and Blade 2. This is interesting amalgamation of a strategy and a third-person combat. So technically this game is the simulator of the medieval kingdom, or rather individual in the medieval kingdom. You're controlling your character, which is completely customizable, and you are thrown in the world with a certain goals in a campaign, which I won't be talking about right now. But in reality, you can do whatever you want in the game. You can be a soldier for hire, you can be a bandit, you can be a vassal of a certain, well, lord or a king, or you can be a lord or a king himself, controlling different castles, sieges, or just going around and killing everyone that you will encounter. And eventually, everyone will also try to kill you as well if you're gonna do that. Overall, this is a pretty long game, and if you add different mods, like the total conversion mods, yes, this game is easily 100 hour plus. Number 4, it's Witcher 3. And yeah, you know that Witcher 3 would be here, because this game, in my opinion, is one of the best RPGs of all time. And with a complete edition, which includes base game and its expansions, this game is easily 100 hours, including main campaign and side quests. And yeah, don't sleep on the side quests in the game, because they are as good of a quality as the main campaign is, and sometimes even better. So yeah, number 4 is Witcher. Number 3 is Project Zomboid, and this is an ultimate zombie survival game. So if you thought that any other zombie games are real zombie games, no, they're not. This is a real zombie survival game, because this game is an only game that will most likely kill you within the first few minutes of the game. Yeah, and it will take you a lot of hours to actually learn and survive, even through the first few days of the zombie apocalypse. But when you will get a hang of it, yeah, this game is easily hundreds of hours of the gameplay. Yes, game looks very simplistic, but it is a very, very, very deep and detailed game, and probably one of the most deep and detailed games in this list. Number 2 is Rimworld. And yeah, what did you expect of the Rimworld? Rimworld is not just a game, it's literally a scenario simulator. Because in this game, anything bad that can happen will happen, and there are a bunch of different situations that will happen in this game. And it is incredibly difficult to explain what this game is because it looks extremely simplistic. It's as simplistic as it can be, but the situations that happen in this game is simply unexplainable with words, and these are one of the few games that you need to actually play to understand. And yes, 100 hours easy with this game. And number 1 is, well, I'm kind of cheating here because I want to put here 2 completely different games here. So technically it's not 28, but it's 29. So number 1 and number 0. So number 1 is Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. You know the Skyrim would be here because this game is simply huge and simply insane. And I'm talking about not just base game Skyrim, but Skyrim with mods as well, because if you're gonna play the vanilla Skyrim, yeah, it's cool, it's fine, but it's kind of old now. But if you're gonna play the modded version of the Skyrim, this is the definitive version of the Skyrim, and every single one of you who will be modding this game, every single one of you will have his own definitive version of the Skyrim, and you know that modded Skyrim is easily 100 hours. But what about number 0? Which kind of technically cheating, but yeah, at least is mine, what you can do about this. And yeah, number 0 for me is probably my most favorite game of all time, even though it might not be the best game of all time, but my most favorite game of all time is, well, Stellaris, the ultimate space strategy that will make any space sci-fi fantasy reality. If you want to play space sci-fi on the galactic level, this is more or less the only way to do so. With its extensive customization and very deep strategic systems, this game is the best space strategy that I have ever played. And yeah, I love strategy, I love space, I love sci-fi. This game is just an amalgamation of everything. And yeah, I know I'm cheating because this is 29, but yeah, it is what it is. And with additional mods, this game is easily 1,000 hours. Not even 100. Game is easily 1,000 hours of gameplay. So yeah, this was my list. All of those games are easily 100 hours, and if you're interested in any of them specifically, you can go and watch my reviews of each and of every one of them in the description down below. And while you're here, you can scroll a little bit down and tell me in the comment section down below which game would you want to be in this list? Because yeah, if it's not on the list, probably I haven't reviewed it. So which one of the games that you have played for more than 100 hours you want to be included in this list? Let me know in the comments down below. Well, this will be it for today. Thanks for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.